I wish I knew this before I went on my first cruise. A seasoned cruiser reporting to you. In this video, I will tell you all you ever wanted to know and some about cruising with NCL. 10-day Mediterranean cruise, France, Spain, Portugal, leaving from London to Barcelona on a magnificent Norwegian Getaway. We will visit London, Paris, Oporto, Lisbon, Gibraltar, Seville, Granada, Ibiza, Palma, and Barcelona. Here I will tell you all about the ship, the ports, and the excursions, specifically whether or not to book excursions on board or figure it out yourself. Hopefully these tips would make your trip cheaper, better, and more enjoyable. So stay tuned for that. Arriving to London. What London? Well, you know, fish, chips, cup of tea, bed food, worse weather. Mary Poppins, London. Have not met Mary Poppins, so nothing to say about that, but the food was really good. London, the capital of Great Britain, that seamlessly blends its modernity with deep-rooted history that stretches back to Roman times. With its iconic landmarks and architectural marvels, London is the city that captivates most. If it didn't captivate you, no worries, not everyone has a good taste. But jokes aside, London is fascinating and certainly worth spending a few days here, if not weeks. So plan to arrive way before your cruise departure date. As they say, a bad day in London is better than a good day anywhere else. So now a little bit about history of London. Romans established Londinium in 43 AD, building a bridge across Thames. Unfortunately, Celtic army destroyed the city in 60 AD. It was rebuilt, only to be burned down again in 125 AD. Despite the setbacks, population grew to over 40,000. After the fall of Roman Empire, London faced attacks from the Vikings. London grew in size and importance during the Tudor and Stuart dynasties. During Henry VIII's rule, city reached the size of 100,000. Then disaster struck in 1665 with Great Plague claiming 100,000 lives, followed by the Great Fire of London in 1666, a fairly unlucky couple of years for London. Bank of England was established in 1694, making London a global financial hub. In 1840, population had reached 2 million, leading again to overcrowding and disease outbreaks. Queen Victoria's reign solidified London as the center of British Empire. Big Ben was built in 1859. In 1890, London Underground became the very first metro system when electrical trains began operating. Around the same time, Jack the Ripper terrorized the city with its infamous murders. One of the most recognizable features of London's skyline is the House of Parliament, a majestic Gothic-style building that houses the British government and is the largest palace in the UK. The Houses of Parliament, officially known as the Palace of Westminster, standing tall beside the famous Big Ben clock tower, an emblem of the city and a symbol of British resilience. The chimes of Big Ben have become synonymous with London and are familiar sounds to both locals and tourists alike. Shocking fact, the Big Ben is not the name of London iconic tower. Big Ben is the name of the massive 13 tons bell inside the clock tower, and the name of the tower itself is Elizabeth Tower. The best way to get around the city is, without a doubt, hop on, hop off bus. Once you're done with London and are ready to embark on the cruise of a lifetime, Southampton is your next stop. The distance between Southampton and the center of London is around 80 miles, 130 kilometers. The fast direct trains luckily go between London's Waterloo Station and Southampton Central Railway Station. That's a journey that will take around 1 hour 20 minutes. NCL uses berth 102, is the newest cruise terminal in Southampton. The best part is that it is a walking distance from Central Railway Station, just under a kilometer away. By the way, author Jane Austen briefly lived in Southampton between 1806 and 1809, if there are any fellow fans out there. Getting on board can be a lengthy process unless you arrive early. I suggest aiming to the earliest check-in time, usually around 10 or 11. Trust me, you won't regret it. On board, we had a balcony cabin with 3 specialty dinings, which are just top restaurants on the ship. However, the complimentary dining venues are also really good. So for the first night, I recommend trying one of the complimentary options because they really make an effort, especially in the first and the last nights. And we decided to see the $1 Million Quartet. It's a Broadway musical that showcases 1956 recording session with Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins. This is probably the best Norwegian Getaway show. And in the meanwhile, we're already leaving the foggy, rainy London for beautiful, sunny Paris. As Audrey Hepburn put it in Sabrina, Paris is always a good idea. And it certainly is. Figuring out how to get there on your own from the cruise port, however, is not. From Grand Port Maritime to Paris is about 200 kilometers. No direct trains. With changes, it will take you about 3 hours to get there. So I would absolutely not recommend. So stick to excursions that NCL offers. Attention to magnificent Paris, the one and only. In the 3rd century BC, the Celtic tribe Parisi founded Paris, hence the name Paris, at least one of the explanations of how name came to be from the name of the tribe Parisi. Julius Caesar's legions conquered the region in 52 BC, Christianity arrived here in 2nd century AD, and the Franks ended Roman rule in 5th century. Clovis I united Gaul and made Paris the capital in 508 AD. During the Middle Ages, Paris flourished with the construction of Notre Dame and draining of Marius area, and the Louvre Museum that began as a fortress around 1200. No joke, museum, the building was intended to be a fortress originally. Vikings raided France's coasts in 9th century and eventually reaching Paris. Oh, those Vikings. The Renaissance brought progress to Paris in the late 1400s with many iconic buildings and monuments constructed. In the late 16th century, religious conflict between Protestants and Catholics caused unrest in Paris, as it did in most places throughout Europe. In 1643, Louis XIV became the King of France at the age of 5 and ruled until 1715. His reign saw financial difficulties due to costly wars and extravagant spendings. He is known for building Palace of Versailles. Despite these challenges, French monarchy supported American Revolution. However, this support greatly contributed to its own revolution, the French one, which began with the storming of Bastille prison in July 14, 1789. Enjoying the video? Subscribe so you don't miss the future content. During the Belle Epoque, there was a great fascination with Art Nouveau architecture and numerous advancements in the arts and sciences. The famous Eiffel Tower was revealed in 1889 and is the darling of Paris, has been and remains to be, even though after it was built there, it was really frowned upon and was considered to be a monstrosity. How crazy were people back then? Statue of Liberty was gifted to America in 1886. Yes, it is from Paris. By the 1930s, Paris established itself as a global center for innovation, art, and had become a sanctuary for intellectuals who valued freedom of thought. Returning to the boat, we were very excited about the evening as we had this amazing musical show ahead of us where the band used instruments made from discarded materials. Well, trash in other words. They were really passionate, fun, talented, and rather handsome. Great combination if you ask me. The dinner was included, the food was alright, but the show was totally worth it, so I would definitely recommend it. Arriving to stunning Porto. Metro takes approximately 30 minutes to get to the city center, so that's certainly an option. Public bus 507 also connects the port of Porto and takes about 40 minutes. The quickest way to reach the city center, however, is with taxi, which would take about 20 minutes. Something that I would recommend to do just to save your time. There is a wonderful hop-on, hop-off bus option once you're there. So Porto. Porto is located on the northwest coast of Portugal, in a city that is most famous for magnificent bridges and, of course, the production of port wine, hence the name Porto. This vibrant city offers a plethora of attractions and experiences for visitors to enjoy. One of the most charming areas of Porto is the medieval Ribeira district. Here you can wander through narrow cobbled streets aligned with merchant houses and cozy cafes. The district exudes sense of history and charm, with its well-preserved architecture and picturesque views of Douro River. Very idyllic, very scenic. One of the highlights of Ribeira district is São Francisco Church. This church is renowned for its opulent Baroque interior, which is adorned with intricate gilded carvings. The church's stunning architecture and rich history makes it a must-visit attraction when you're exploring Porto. Aside from architectural wonders, Porto, of course, is famous for production of the port wine. The city is home to numerous port wine cellars. Some of the tours offered on NCL actually offer tours to wine cellars, so that's what you're after. Go for it. So visitors here can learn about production process, sample different varieties of fortified wines. Be careful there, it's much stronger than your regular wine. And the cellars offer guided tours and tastings, providing unique, immersive experience for wine enthusiasts. In addition to cultural and culinary offerings, Porto also boasts several magnificent bridges. One of the most iconic ones, of course, is Dom Louis I Bridge, which spans the Douro River. The double-deck iron bridge offers breathtaking views of the city. Food is great, views are great, the city is fantastic, so knock yourself out. It was a very exciting day that we absolutely loved. After the day, we were rather tired and really decided to chill on the ship. We haven't done too much. It was nothing crazy, a couple of drinks and a dinner, and the evening was fantastic. The next day we were in Lisbon. That's a part that I love about cruising. Pretty much every day a new destination. After a lovely breakfast, we were ready to explore. So again, the question how to get there, really easy. NCL arrives to the port of Lisbon, which is a kilometer away from the city center. So it's easily accessible. You don't have to get a transfer, it's a walking distance, so most people simply walk. And from there, jump on, hop off buses. They're available from all major sites. There will be clearly a stop, and enjoy the city. Again, I wouldn't recommend booking anything with NCL because it's very easy to navigate. If you want to have options between the red and the blue routes, then you want to go to Marquês de Pombal. So here you would be able to take either of the routes, either blue or the red. They're rather similar. Look at the maps, see what you would prefer, but the ticket would cover both. Again, the ticket is around $30. So Lisbon is the capital of Portugal, captivating destination renowned for its enchanting hilly terrain and breathtaking coastal views. Nestled along the banks of the Tagus River, this vibrant city boasts a rich history that spans centuries, making it a treasure trove of cultural and architectural wonders. With its origins dating back to the Roman era, Lisbon has witnessed the rise and fall of various civilizations. Each left their mark on the city's landscape. From Moorish rule during the Middle Ages to the Age of Discovery, Lisbon has been a witness to significant historical events that have shaped the nation's identity and the city's beauty. One of the most striking features of Lisbon is its topography, characterized by 7 hills, just like Rome, offers panoramic views of the city and the Atlantic Ocean. The city's architectural heritage is a testament to its illustrious past. Lisbon showcases harmonious blend of architectural style from Romanesque and Gothic to Manuline and Baroque. Lisbon coastal location adds to allure the Atlantic Ocean, providing stunning backdrop to the city's landscape. Beyond the natural architectural beauty, Lisbon is of course the city that has great vibrant cultural scene. The city is home to museums, art galleries, theaters, and many musical festivals. Of course, Lisbon is a great place for culinary delights and gastronomic pleasures. The traditional dishes of fresh seafood being the highlight for food enthusiasts, and of course, famous custard tarts must try. Go for the entire thing, just put it all in your mouth, eat it with gusto, it's amazing. Speaking of eating and living with gusto, we were excited to come back to the ship as we had our specialty dining. We went to Ocean Blue. It is a seafood restaurant, by far one of the best seafood restaurants I've ever been to. As I said, if you have a balcony cabin, you would have 3 specialty dinings. With an inside cabin, it would be 1 specialty dining. And as I said, complimentary dining is fine, so you don't really have to have them. And for the show, we went to see a magician/comedian, which was really nice and funny and entertaining. I really enjoyed it. And we're in Gibraltar. After a quick breakfast, we were ready to discover the city. The best part about Gibraltar, again, the cruise port is really close to the city. It's actually about a mile away, 20-minute walk to the city center, to Casamates Square. This is an easy walk on a flight sidewalks, very pretty, very nice. So you do not need to book anything with NCL, just go and discover the city for yourself. Gibraltar is a small British overseas territory located in the southern tip of the Iberian Peninsula. One of the most iconic features of Gibraltar is the stunning natural landscape. The Rock of Gibraltar, a towering limestone formation, dominates the skyline and provides breathtaking views of surrounding Mediterranean Sea and the Strait of Gibraltar. Exploring the rock is a must-do activity. There are numerous hiking trails, so if you have hiking boots with you and you're quick enough, I guess you could consider, but of course, given the time constraints, I used the cable car, which I recommend you as well. Gibraltar is a home to a vibrant mix of cultures and influences. The territory's population is truly a melting pot of different nationalities, resulting in diverse culinary scene and lively atmosphere. Speaking of diversity, this time around we've decided to diversify on our dining options as well. We went to a complimentary restaurant, the Shanghai Noodles, and it was really good Asian food. And then we went to a music show, Howl at the Moon, which is really nice. So here you could actually order the song that you want, you can sing along. It's really relaxed, nice atmosphere, and we enjoyed it. It was fun. In the meanwhile, we are in Seville. Seville, Cadiz, Spain. Traveling from Cadiz to Seville by train will take about an hour and 23 minutes, covering the distance of approximately 100 kilometers. Totally doable. Alternatively, of course, you can stay in Cadiz, which is very, very pretty as well. For us, however, I really wanted to see Seville. We did take a tour with NCL. So now all about Seville. It's a city with rich history and culture, with numerous historical landmarks and attractions waiting to be explored. A must-see attraction in Seville is Seville Cathedral, the largest Gothic cathedral in the world and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Inside the cathedral, visitors can marvel at the intricate stained glass windows, ornate altars, and tomb of Christopher Columbus, yes, the very one. Seville Cathedral is one of the more famous Roman Catholic cathedrals in Spain and is the largest cathedral in the world in this particular style of a Gothic style. Was consecrated in 1507. A taste of Seville's Moorish history would give a visit to Giralda Tower. That's a must. It's right there in the Seville Cathedral, originally built as a minaret for the city's mosque, and the tower now serves as a bell tower for the cathedral, and now it is Christian. Other historical landmarks worth exploring in Seville include Plaza de España. It's a very, very beautiful grand square built for Ibero-American Exposition in 1929. It's certainly a must-see place in Seville. Of course, in addition to historical landmarks, Seville is known for vibrant culture and lively atmosphere. The city is famous for traditional flamenco, music and dance, with numerous venues offering performances to visitors to enjoy. The Triana neighborhood in particular known for flamenco bars and is a great place to experience this iconic Spanish art form. After enjoying the flamenco music and the performance, we had a terrific tapas in a local place, had a glass of wine. Went back to the ship, had another glass of wine on the top deck, and finally went to our absolute favorite place, the Sid Norman's Pour House. That's the pub where the band is just, they're killing it. I love them. And we are in Granada, Malaga, Spain. It's really easy to get to the city center from the cruise port, as it is just over a mile away, roughly 2 kilometers, to the heart of historical Malaga, so it's about 20 minutes walk. However, there's also an option of a shuttle bus that runs from the cruise terminal to the Plaza de la Marina. That is the city center. The cost of around €5, and it goes every 15 to 20 minutes. Also, there are plenty of taxis available. And the best part, there's a hop on hop off bus here for €25. Great choice, so you don't have to book anything with NCL. So Malaga, a beautiful city situated in the sunny Costa del Sol, southern Spain, a vibrant port city that offers a perfect blend of history, culture, and natural beauty, not to forget the great food. With its stunning resorts overlooking golden sandy beaches, Malaga has become one of the most popular tourist destinations, seeking relaxation and some luxury. One of the most striking features of Malaga is the skyline that is dominated by 2 impressive hilltop citadels, the Alcazada, the fortified palace complex, and Gibraltar Castle. The medieval fortress stands a testament of city's rich Moorish heritage. These architectural marvels not only offer breathtaking views over the city and Mediterranean Sea, but also provide a glimpse into Malaga's fascinating past. Alcazada, with intricate Islamic architecture and beautiful gardens, was built in the 11th century and served as a residence for Moorish rulers. Its well-preserved walls, towers, courtyards transport visitors back in time, which it did with us. It was a fascinating experience, allowing you to imagine the opulence and grandeur of Moorish era. Alcazada also houses an archaeological museum that showcases Malaga's Roman past. Beyond the historical landmarks, Malaga has much more to offer. The city's vibrant atmosphere is evident with its bustling streets, lively markets, and charming squares. Malaga is also known for culinary delights. The city's gastronomy scene is diverse and vibrant, offering a wide range of traditional Andalusian dishes as well as international cuisine. Finished the evening with the complimentary dining at Taste, which was really nice, and a wonderful show. I have to say, on Getaway, most of the shows were really, really fascinating. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please put the like, write a comment, share, subscribe, and super thanks never hurt. And we are in Ibiza. Ibiza, totally crazy, unquestionably stunning, the little darling of the pirates. Yes, those very pirates that was literally destined to be the party island of the world. More about that in just a moment. First and foremost, the great news, the very great news. Again, you do not have to book anything with NCL because I'm going to explain to you how to get to Ibiza for just a few euros.
Ibiza, do not take the shuttle bus. You'd pay 15 and go back and forth on a shuttle bus. But with the 7, you could buy a ticket here. I showed you that tiny booth. You'd have to walk 10 minutes or so to the boat, and then for 7 you could get a return boat to the old town. You could also get a day pass, I think 10 or maybe 15, and you can go anywhere. There are 3 stops, so you can get off anywhere. I just got one for the old town.
Just to reiterate here again, you will just walk, you cannot get lost because there's just only one way, one pedestrian way from the port. So you can either ask for information in the information center, or you can just walk a few hundred meters more across the road. Again, you cannot get lost because there's no other way to go. There's only one pedestrian walk there. So there'll be people standing and selling tickets for the city boat, and there are quite a few signs pointing to the city boat. You cannot miss that. So yeah, if you have any appreciation, super thanks would be very, very much appreciated. There is a button underneath the super thanks. So yeah, if you want to tip me, I'm all up for it. And now all attention to stunning Ibiza. The group of Phoenicians settled here and founded Ibiza in 654 BC, called Iceland Ibotsim in honor of Bes, the guardian god, and guess what? God of dance, music, safety, and female adornment. So Ibiza is without a doubt living up to its name. Ibiza boasts many pristine white sand beaches and crystal clear waters, making it deservedly one of the best beach destinations in Europe, the world arguably. It was popular among Europeans since the dawn of times. Norwegian king, yes, there was such a thing, Sigurd I invaded Ibiza in 1110 to use it as a strategic part of his crusade towards Jerusalem. The island has also been invaded by Aragonese King James I in 1235, then by Moors before in 1990, Scipio brothers in 209, so quite a history for such a small island. Fun fact, back in the day when most coastal lines, cities and towns and islands were ravaged by the pirates, Ibiza has no hard feelings whatsoever. This island was the only place in the world, as far as we know, that infamous sea raiders honored. It was their little darling and no one touched it, so it was a safe haven. In 1915, in fact, an obelisk was erected in the port of Ibiza in their memory. Sort of, thanks guys for not robbing us. Pretty much the entire island of Ibiza is UNESCO World Heritage Site because of a whole bunch of things. Its biodiversity, culture, architecture, sea life, coastline, whatnot. It has an outstanding natural beauty, rich heritage and culture, pristine beaches, and remarkable landmarks such as Old Town, known as Dal Villa, that we're enjoying right now. Right by the entrance to the old town, I found a lovely coffee shop, and as I said earlier, I actually do try to take my time and maybe spend half an hour to an hour just sitting in a sidewalk cafe, observing people, enjoying the atmosphere, and trying to sort of feel like locals do. Returned to the boat, had lunch outside, which was lovely right by the pool, then went for dinner. Again, the food was great, complimentary, no need for anything else. And we are in Majorca. Sunny Spain. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Did not expect Majorca to leave such a deep impression on me. I expected Barcelona to be my favorite port. I think Majorca beat even Barcelona. I loved it. We had a slow breakfast. There were options to do the great outdoors. You could actually sit on the terrace up on the highest deck. For Majorca, the best part of it, again, you do not need to book anything with NCL. You do want to buy a shuttle bus, a shuttle transfer. You buy it a day in advance. It would cost you, I think, €7 return or €15 return. I don't remember. And then you are in the downtown. It is a bit far. It's not really walkable, so I wouldn't recommend walking, but it's only a 10-minute ride by bus, and they go every 20-30 minutes, and you are right in the thick of it. They take you to the cathedral, and from there, frankly, you can walk anywhere around like 10-15 minutes walk diameter from the cathedral. You would see the best what Majorca has to offer as far as the old town is concerned. Majorca is a charmer. It charmed me, and I'm not easily charmed. Dating back to 13th century, when Christians reconquered the island, the name of island comes from Latin phrase insula major, which basically means larger island. As Majorca is the largest island of all Spain, gradually the phrase was mispronounced to such an extent that it became Majorca. The impressive Lasso Cathedral in Palma is one of Majorca's most significant sites. It's a huge cathedral built on the site of former mosque. The building of cathedral began in 1230 and continued for 400 years. A very impressive cathedral with diverse architecture and design of Gothic and Northern European styles, with some influence from great Antonio Gaudi. We'll talk about him more in Barcelona. Famous stained glass windows have earned it the name of Cathedral of the Light. From here, literally roam free, as I said, wander in any direction from Cathedral and you cannot go wrong. It's stunning all over. You're in the very heart of Majorca, and all best that old town has to offer, it's right there. Walk through medieval streets lined up with imposing townhouses, Baroque churches. You'll find quite a few public squares, fountains, gardens, and of course cafes. I certainly took advantage of those. And I'm having my first cup of coffee here, which is quite a joy because the coffee is not very good on board. They have Starbucks, and I don't like Starbucks that much, frankly. So I got myself a very nice cup of coffee, and we're gonna check out beautiful Majorca. And it's actually good. It's actually a good cup of coffee. Nothing like a good cup of coffee. One of the things that I always try to do on my trips is just to slow down and sort of try to behave like locals, right? So Spanish have the siesta thing, and I'm starting mine early. It's like 11:30 now, and I'm just gonna sit down and enjoy my cup of coffee. So Majorca has it all for dream life and holidays, culture, nature, entertainment, and definitely gastronomy. We actually went wild here, went for a very, very large lunch with a lot of tapas, and I'm eyeing it for the retirement. It's very popular with Germans and Swiss for retirement. I'm thinking maybe this is a good place to go. The absolute stunning feature of Majorca is the amazing clear sea. Everyone, including myself, are usually amazed with how blue and clear the water is. This phenomenon is caused by algae actually on the seabed. Due to these organisms, Majorca has some of the clearest, most turquoise seawater. Here you would also find the hop on hop off bus. I would honestly say it wasn't worth it. We did take it, but to be fair, the most beautiful sights are right there by the cathedral. You do not have to pay 25 euros per person to see a couple more places. I really don't think, given the amount of time that you have, which is not that much, it's worth taking the bus ride if you want to. It's right there by the cathedral. There's a first stop. Easy, but I think, up to you. If I knew what I would have seen, I wouldn't have taken it. And now to the best part, trying the local food. We absolutely love trying local restaurants, and in this case we found a fairly small place which was really, really good, again close to the cathedral. There are many good tapas places. Just Google the ones that have the best reviews. That's what we did. And we had a blast. The food was great, and we paid 45 or 50 euros for a massive lunch. Exhausted but happy as always, we returned to the boat and spent the rest of the time on the top deck, just checking out Majorca from afar, having a drink, spending time by the pool, which was great. The weather was fantastic, so it was great to catch up on some swimming and sunbathing. So that was a blast. And then we had a lunch, outdoors lunch. We actually ate on the top deck. And we are in most awaited port of all. That's the place I have never been to, and Barcelona was the place I really, really wanted to visit. In this particular case, we actually did buy the tour with NCL. Was it worth it? Frankly, not so much. I would have preferred, there is a shuttle. I actually took a shuttle to return. It was fairly short, only 3 hours, observing tour or whatever. It wasn't that good. Honestly, I would have preferred to take a shuttle bus and then take hop on, hop off. What I would recommend to do, absolutely get data for Europe. Get a data coverage. It's gonna be worth it. If you can navigate in the ports by yourself, you're gonna save a lot of money and get much, much better experience in every single port. We are in Barcelona. Did you know that Barcelona is older than Rome? No worries, I did not either. One theory about the origins of Barcelona states that city may have been founded by Hercules. 400 years before Rome was built. The truth is, no one really knows that that's the case. Maybe it's just a legend, but it sounds really cool. So for the purposes of this video, let's just go with that. According to other traditions, Barcelona has been founded by either Phoenicians or Carthaginians who had trading posts along the Catalonian coast. Today, Barcelona is the most visited city after London, Paris, and Istanbul. Could have been home to the Eiffel Tower. Yes, the very Eiffel Tower. If everything had gone according to Gustave Eiffel's initial plan, Paris' most famous landmark would now be in Barcelona. Then Barcelona would have been the second most visited city in the world. Unfortunately, Spain rejected the architect's project, deciding that it was too radical and did not fit the city's aesthetics. Little did they know. In fact, on his visit to the city in 1862, Hans Christian Andersen remarked that Barcelona was the Paris of Spain. The city is indeed a major cultural center with remarkable history. More than 10% of the city is covered by urban parks. Instead of shrinking, the surface actually grows by about 10 hectares every year. With this kind of trend, if it continues, there'll be nothing but parks by 2050. But again, maybe not. The fantastical Sagrada Familia church or cathedral, other modernist remarks designed by Antoni Gaudi. A lot of the buildings that are of any interest were actually designed by Antoni Gaudi. Antoni Gaudi is considered one of the most important architects with great influence on various buildings in Barcelona. Antoni Gaudi was a huge fan of nature. That's why when you look at Antoni Gaudi's buildings, you would realize nothing is repeating itself, nothing is identical. As he himself pointed out, that in nature, nothing repeats, nothing appears more than once. So everything that he did was always unique. The construction of Roman Catholic Basilica Sagrada Familia began in 1882 and still ongoing many years after his death. And then very randomly on the square we walked into heaven. We walked into a tapas place, which was amazing, and it was self-service, so you could pick up any of these beauties that you want, and the price would be depending on how many this kind of tiny wooden sticks you would have collected, and the cost of which like between 2 and 2.5 euros. But oh my god, it was good. So definitely have lunch in Barcelona. Our final night on board of Getaway, we were really in a rush to return. There's so much to see and so much to do, and Getaway really did not disappoint on the final night. And just like that, we were ready to say goodbye to this amazing experience. We really loved it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope my tips were helpful. If they were, please subscribe, please put the like. Thank you so much.